and welcome back. It is the 19th of December. We've only a few days left on the calendar. Each one has a hidden Magic the Gathering booster pack behind it. So, can anything beat yesterday, our triple rare pack with a fetch land? That Scalding Tarn is going to be tough to beat. Well, let's see what we have down here. Behind door number 19. Oh, okay. Just a couple of days ago we had Khans of Tarkir, and now we have Fate Reforged. The 15-card booster pack, okay. Yeah. Alright. Let me see. Fate Reforged had Ugin for a start. That was his big debut. Monastery Mentor. What else? They weren't part of the set, but there was also a chance to open fetch lands in the land slot in these, one in so many packs. So, yeah, this set could have a few things in it. Let's open her up and find out. It was also kind of a weird set draft-wise, because then you would either draft it as Khans Fate Reforged, or afterwards you would draft it Fate Reforged Dragons. So the set had to mix with different things, and there was a bit of an issue when it came to just kind of how the cards were spread. It was a draft filled with cards that would keep coming around, like the Rune Mark cycle, for instance. Let's have a look. Okay. We're starting with a Sultai Skullkeeper, 1 and a blue for a 2/1. Enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into the graveyard. Still fueling all of that delving material right there. Tassiger's Cruelty, 5 and a black. Just when we're talking about delve, each opponent discards 2 cards, so if you can exile enough cards from your bin, you can cast this for just a single black. Yeah. Again, Delve has been a bit of a pushed mechanic. You've seen it stuff like Gurmag Angler and others. Rakshasa's Disdain, 2 and a blue for an instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. I've seen worse counter spells. And, you know, there's something to be said about a little bit of flavor tossed in there. Reach of Shadows, 4 and a black for an instant. Destroy target creature that's 1 or more colors. Pretty expensive for a kill spell, but gets rid of anything apart from morphs and artifacts, Eldrazi. Yeah. Aven Skirmisher, 1 mana for a 1/1 bird warrior flyer. Can't think of the set mechanics that would have really pushed this up anyway. It wasn't exactly big on equipment or anything. Let's see what we find. Harsh Sustenance. 1, a white and a black for an instant. It deals damage to target creature player and you gain life, where that is the number of creatures you control. Okay. Just going a bit wide, doing things with that. Bathe in Dragonfire. Okay, here we go. This is something. 2 and a red for a sorcery. That's the only real drawback. Bathe in Dragonfire deals 4 damage to target creature. 3 mana to deal 4 damage to a creature. This was pretty decent when it comes to the common slot. It did a little bit of work. Hey, we talked about it earlier. Here's one of the Rune Marks. Tamer Rune Mark is 2 and a green for an aura enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. Has trample as long as you control a blue or a red permanent. So full cycle of these for all of the different clans. And it was 1 color or another because you had to let there be room for dragons where the clans no longer existed and go with the new dragon clans. So yeah. Zoop. Warflare. 2 red and a white for an instant. Creatures you control get +2/+1 till end of turn. Untap those creatures. Yeah, so seeing go wide pump spells like this for about 4 mana is about the norm. The untapping the creatures is the interesting part. That is the caveat for this one. Having surprise blockers or having surprise vigilance. You know, you can do some stuff. Not too bad. Smoldering Efreet. 1 and a red for an Efreet monk. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to you. Okay. So 2/2 for 2. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to you. I had to double check and reread that one. I cannot think exactly what the benefit of this one was for those stats, just to hit the vanilla test. Answers on a postcard? Fascination, X blue for a sorcery. Either each player draws that many cards, or each player mills that many cards. You know, this one could be a fun one for some commander mill shenanigans. It's always hard to get the mill to stick around and do it right. Yeah, pretty decent card. I like it. Abzan Kinguard, 3 and a green for a human warrior, free. Has lifelink as long as you control a white or black permanent. You know, not too bad. Does the work. And next up. Here's a card you've seen at your commander tables somewhere. Humble Defector. 1 and a red for a 2/1 human rogue. Tap, draw 2 cards. Target opponent gains control of Humble Defector. Activate this ability only during your turn. Yeah, you'd see this getting untapped and retapped just to get multiple activations out of it, have some fun. Yeah. Well, if that said, though, that is our uncommons, so our rare is Rally the Ancestors. Sadly, nothing amazing, but I remember this card was actually part of a combo back in Standard back in the day, I think. It's XYY instant. Return each creature card with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile those cards at the beginning of your next upkeep. Exile Rally the Ancestors. Importantly enough, it doesn't say if those creatures would leave the battlefield. So if you can find ways to bounce them back to your hand or do other stuff, yeah, I can see where the combo potential lies in this if you have a sack outlet ready to go along with it. Yeah. I think... Oh, check out the foil. The little foil doohickey at the bottom is really off-center. Don't know if that's big enough to be a misprint lovers thing, but hey. And let's see. Are we lucky with lands? Thornwood Falls. Enters the battlefield tapped. Enters the battlefield to gain a life. Taps for green or a blue. Nope. No fetch land here today. We'll have to be happy with the one we got yesterday. And a manifest token. So yeah. Nothing in here today that's breaking the bank or beating yesterday's particular pack. But we've got a couple days left on here for Christmas. And I hope you come to see tomorrow.